Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I have a young lady that's in jail, and she's in jail because the officers pulled her over and they asked her for her ID, and they did all the routine, and she argued with them about giving them her ID. She says she didn't know of a law that says that she had to give them her ID, and technically, want to make sure you guys understand, when the police ask for your ID, your insurance, and your registration, they're doing an investigation on you. Pay attention. They're not verifying you that you're legal and all that. They're doing an investigation on you. They're looking for something. That means they're conducting an investigation. And if you interfere with that investigation, now hold on now. Remember, they're doing the investigation on you. Okay. You do not have to self incriminate. It's a violation of the Fifth Amendment. But hold on now. You're going to have to figure out how you're going to articulate that to them. She had a conversation. Now, I told her, she argued with them. Now, she's on the phone, she's in jail, she's stressing, and I don't have no empathy sympathy switch anymore, so I'm gonna tell you like it is. So I told her that wasn't a situation to be arguing with them. You argued with them, and look at the situation you're in now. She's worried about, she's got some petitions she has to file in the court that we worked on and so forth. Told her, you don't need to worry about that. It's an automatic stay. As long as you're in jail, you're restrained of your liberty. So you don't have to file anything right now, and you'll just do this. And I told her exactly what she's going to have to do. Petition for reconsideration, ask the court to rehear it, and blah, blah, blah. And if they don't do this, that, blah, blah, blah. Give me 1 second. UPDATE. I just told it to update the system based on the code that I just put in because he was being stupid. The last video I did took over an hour and he's arguing with me back and forth. I ain't got time for that. Okay? So I just gave it a mandate. Yay, yay! Okay. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we were talking. I was telling her what to do. She has a bond. The same as I tell everybody, go get you a bond, vehicle title bond. You got a vehicle title bond. Stop calling it a vehicle title bond and just call it a bond. It's a bond. It's a $25,000 bond. You have a $25,000 bond. Bail yourself out of jail. I don't have anybody. Look, young lady, you don't have me. I don't have the time to sit up here and do that for you. It took me an hour and a half to register with the system so she'd be able to call me. An hour and a half. I don't have that type of time, people. I cannot come to your rescue. I am not your lawyer. Okay. Second, you argue with the police, there are consequences. People, you argue with the police, there are consequences. She tells me about how she's bruised up because they took her fingerprints. Okay, she can use that later. Right now, it's not the time to be arguing that. Look, if you don't want to give your fingerprints, you don't have to. But she put void on the paperwork for the telephone. They said because she put void on that, she couldn't use the phone because she has to give them permission to record her. Technically, no, she doesn't. So the only other option she has is the mail, and they read her mail anyway. You understand? So she has some things she can bring up later, not now. She's stubborn. So I told her what to do. Hey, I said, you need to talk to Jehovah. He's not the great I am. He's not the so-called spiritual this or spiritual that. He is the true God. Ask him for his help. I said, I've been where you are. I know what you're going through. So we got into the conversation about the ID. And I said, the Supreme Court has said that yes, they have the right to ask you for your identification. Well, I don't see a law. I said, wait a minute. You told me you don't see a law? I said, you realize who you're talking to out of all the people on this planet? You're going to tell me you don't see a law? It has nothing to do with whether or not you see a law. I just told you what it says and what they're going by. And she hung up on me. She's in jail and she calls me collect and then she hangs up on me. Oh, well, you follow me? People, you call me, I'm not going to feel sorry for you. I'm going to tell you the facts because the facts are the only thing that matters. Simply the facts, ma'am. So this is what I go through. And yet, this is what I go through. Sometimes I feel like I'm the only one. Ladies and gentlemen, have a good evening. Sometimes I feel, sometimes I feel, sometimes I feel like I'm the only one.